Hello, friend, and welcome back to Too Many Minis. My name's Ozzy, and it's an exciting day for Middle Earth fans. We've got two big reveals from Games Workshop today. One that I think everybody was expecting and looking forward to, and one that I was not expecting. All right, first up, we've got Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth. This is a mad one. Like, I saw rumors of this, a plastic Prince Imrahil, and I was like, sure, we get a new Prince Imrahil. That's well needed. I think it would sell, but resin. Come on, everything they've done so far, would make us know that it's only going to be resin. It's not going to be plastic. They have never done a plastic for a book only character, right? Well, that's all out the window now. We have a plastic Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth, and it's a pretty fantastic kit. I mean, it's very much it's restricted by what the design of the Dol Amroth Knights is and has been since Gary Morley's models in what 2004, 2003 or 4. But I think this is doing a pretty fantastic job with it. It's going to look really nice with the Forge World Foot Knights of Dol Amroth, and pretty good with the plastic riders. It's got some nice added detail to the barding on the horse. There's a fantastic detail here. You see the swan neck that connects the bit to the reins. Fantastic. The lance looks fantastic. Yeah, it's a pretty epic model. I think I like the foot version more than the mounted in a way. But I think if you want a new Imrahil, this is exactly the kind of thing you want. Look at the detail on the sword with the wings. Oof, there's a lot of detail in there. Lovely little touches, and it's suitably ornate. It's got another nice white swan sail on the horse's bum. Outstanding and a real surprise. Then they show off the Armies of Middle Earth book, which we knew was coming, but I wasn't sure if they were going to show it off today. We knew getting reveal. I think it's going to make a lot of people happy to get that. There's a lot of people who have felt like they can't play their armies, and that's no good. So let's crack on with this. It says it's a 192 page hardback, so that's bigger than the Hobbit army book, but a bit smaller than the Armies of Lord of the Ring book. It contains rules for 130 units. I guess someone could do a count on that. Featuring heroes, villains, monsters, and warriors from Middle-earth's lengthy history, it covers a huge selection of classic miniatures, plus new unit profiles such as the War Drakes of Rune. That's a strange way of putting it, but maybe that means we're getting the War Drake models soon. It then goes on to say, the forces of good are ready to stand and fight with profiles for units and heroes from the Free Peoples, Rohan, Gondor, Kings of Men, Elven Kingdoms, and Dwarven Holds, and you'll be able to use them in 14 good army lists. And for those that would see Middle-earth brought to ruin, the forces of evil comprise Mordor, Isengard, the Misty Mountains, and the Fallen Realms, using 14 evil army lists, so 14 each. And then it says, this is important, many of the heroes and warriors that feature in the Armies of Middle-earth supplement can also be taken in army lists found in Armies of the Lord of the Rings and Armies of the Hobbit. Where this is the case, the Legions of Middle-earth section will provide details of which army list they can be taken in and what heroic tier those heroes will count as in those lists. So that's cool. That means you can drop characters like Glorfindel into Road to Rivendell, etc. We don't know to what extent they'll do that, but this is confirmation that that sort of thing is going to be happening, and that's very good in my opinion. It means that in a way we're getting more than just 28 new lists here, because we're getting fresh additions to the lists we already have. Let's have a little run through those lists. So on the good side, we've got the Battle of Bywater. That's the only Hobbit list here. And we've got the kind of puny Shire list that's in the Armies of the Lord of the Rings book, which sort of represents what if they had a battle during Bilbo's birthday party. Well, this Battle of Bywater is the proper Shire list from the Scouring of the Shire, with everybody involved there. So, it won't have Gandalf, it won't have Rangers, it won't have Banner Took, the Borora, but it should have everything else. And I think that could be pretty hot. We've be a lot like what's in the Scouring of the Shire supplement from the previous edition, but I'm really looking forward to that. That's one of my favorite things to try and do, is build a big Shire army one day. Arathorn's Stand, we know that's in the PDF Angmar and Arnor rules. The Grey Company book version, very exciting. Be interested to see sort of at what point that's representing. Is that going to have the option of having the Army of the Dead in it? Or is it just going to be the three hunters, the twins, and the Dunedain? The Bjornings, and this is the one I'm excited about because the Bjornings, they got introduced in the last edition in the Defense of the North, but they kind of ended up with this awkward situation where you had to take Grimbeorn to take Bjornings. You couldn't just take Beorn and Bjornings, which is nuts. So hopefully that's sorted now. You can have either one or both leading. I would love it if they put some little woodman profiles in there, but I think that's unlikely. Fords of Eisen, good list. Which is a weird one because they've sent Grimbold to Legacies, and who else other than Grimbold and Theodred would you have there? Don't know. But that's going to be a Rohan list representing the moment prior to the Helm's Deep. So, yeah. Oh, well. Part of the Druidan list is back. I think you can imagine what that's going to be. Wozes and Rohan. The fiefdoms in one list. This is cool. It's going to be a big fiefdoms list, but it will be probably just the fiefdoms and not be able to mix in Minas Tirith, which, you won't have to have that kind of Gondor-wide army with that. But then a very interesting one is after that, the Grief of Eomer. And I imagine this is the list that I took to Warhammer World a year or two ago, which is the cavalry charge to rescue Eomer after he's gone nuts after thinking his sister was dead. And Imrahil, Forlong, Hurin, Heluin all ride like mad to his rescue. So that would be a combined Pelennor Fields, possibly Minas Tirith and the Fiefdoms, possibly Minas Tirith, the Fiefdoms, and Rohan list. So that's interesting. It's also possible that some of the fiefdoms get added into the Defenders of the Pelennor Field list, as we read that things may get added into those lists from the previous books. So that could be good. There's a lot of options there. Arnor is, I think, already in the PDF, unless it's a slightly different list. Army of Dale, I assume that's going to be representing the War of the Ring Dale list with King Brand. Battle of Fornost is in the PDF, the Angmar Arnold PDFs, and it's a fantastic list with Glorfindel and Eonor. Kingdom of Khazad-dûm will be representing just the kind of during proper Kingdom of Khazad-dûm era, because they've said they've sent to Legacies the Balin and Flory Stonehand stuff, so it won't be the Balin's Expedition era. So you won't be running Gimli and Balin in there. Army of Erebor, I assume, is with Thorin the Third, Oakenshield, and Old Dane, and all that stuff. The War of the Ring era. And Defenders of Erebor, that should be the combined Dale and Erebor defense of Erebor during the War of the Ring. And you might see an old Dwalin, Glowing, Boffa, Biffa, the remaining doors from that in it. Getting on to the evil lists. First up is Army of the Great Eye. Ooh. My guess is this is a kind of replacement for the Legions of Mordor list, the grand army that attacks the Pelennor Fields. Maybe the amount of book-only things you'd include here are so great that rather than stick them as extras into the Legions of Mordor, they've written a different list. What else could it be? That's about it, I think. Sharky's Rogues is the simple list with Sharky and Worm and the Ruffians from the Scouring of the Shire. And then we've got two Moria, okay, and Dragons of the North. Now, Dragons of the North appears next to Moria rather than down next to the Host of the Dragon Emperor and the Easterlings. So I think we can take it at its word that it's actually a list of dragons. My guess is it's the Moria dragon as was, and the Cave Drake, and possibly the Runish Drakes. Don't know, but this Dragons of the North list will mean that the dragons are out of Moria. The dragon and Drake are out of Moria, and they have their own list. It could be unpopular, but for me, it seems thematically much more on it. Host of the Witch King is from the Angmar supplement, and we have that. Shadows of Angmar, Burdur's Horde, Wolfpack of Angmar, Army of Khazad-dûm. They're all in the PDF, so I think we kind of know what's there. The Easterlings, you'd have to assume, is the bog standard old school Easterlings list with Amdur and all the regular stuff. And then you've got a Host of the Dragon Emperor focused Easterling list. So you just basically give me two flavors of Easterlings, and nobody will ever play the one that's in the Armies of the Lord of the Rings book ever again because it's so boring. Then you got the Serpent Horde, Umbar, pretty straightforward armies for them. They have incredibly simplified versions in the Armies of the Lord of the Rings. This will be what people actually play. And then there's the Grand Army of the South, which we've had before. Combining those different Southron forces into one army. That's previously had Farharad in it. It'll be interesting with them being absent if they will be mentioned at all or if it will just be without them. And then the Legacy PDF allows you to include them. That would be my guess. But we'll see. Same obviously, Canned aren't there because we know they've gone to Legacy. So again, we'll see how they are inserted back into the game as a Legacy. So that's a lot of fun stuff to get stuck into. I'm sure some people will pick holes in it and have problems, but I'm really pleased with that. I'm really looking forward to seeing a bunch of those lists. I'm most excited about the Grief of Aomer because I did that kind of list. I did it with Herluin, but I guess they won't do a Herluin model. But maybe he gets added into fiefdoms. That would be interesting. But I love that scene from the book. Very excited to do that. Very excited to see the Grey Company and what's in there. Very excited to see that if they fix the Bjornings. I'll definitely be getting back onto trying to make my Battle of Bywater army, which is a big long-term project. But yeah, you can't beat some hobbits. I'm very interested to see what Army of the Great Eye is and exactly what's in there. Could be a great big kind of fruit cocktail of an army. Dragons of the North is kind of, intriguing. And let's see what's in Grand Army of the South. But possibly most of all, I'm looking forward to seeing which book only or Games Workshop invented characters can get slotted into lists from the Lord of the Rings book and the Hobbit Armies book. Very interested to see what those are. Excited about that. Also excited about the crazy can of worms that is opened up by a plastic Prince Imrahil. That's wild. Like the first ever plastic book only character in 24 years of this game. With that and the new Warriors of Rohan plastics, there's kind of no, we can't say, oh, we know what the model is, we know what we're expecting. No, anything could happen now, so it's very hard to predict. I think you've got Bolg, Hera, and Imrahil outstanding that we haven't had released, but we've seen. There's obviously a fair bit more War of the Rohirrim models to release in Helm, Hera, Olwyn, Leaf, and Freylaf, and also the Dunlending Hill Tribes Chieftain. But there's no obvious next expansion coming into view yet. I guess they want to get this book out. A lot of people clamoring for a match play guide. Yeah, that'd be cool. Six scenarios is a bit light, but I can wait. I'm cool. There's more exciting things. Although we could do with official ruling on how to do doubles games. But I think this is really exciting times for the game. I'm hyped. There's a whole bunch of lists I want to do there, and I'm still excited about the lists from the two books we've already got that I haven't run yet, like Road to Rivendell and running Thorin's Company with the Mirkwood Rangers and with the Eagles. Lots of exciting stuff. So yeah, exciting times. Do get chatting in the comments. I'll be streaming tonight, streaming Thursday nights. I'm painting the Get Off the Road diorama. Started that last week on stream, and I'll be carrying on with that. Don't drop it. And we'll be chatting lots about this book, I'm sure, and about Imrahil. And then also join the Discord, chat on there. There's already a lot of chat going on. I've been struggling to keep up with all my chats in the last hour or so. Be great to hear what you think. I'm excited. You can check out Patreon details as well below if you're feeling generous and want to kick in. Just thanks for watching as always. Nice one. Cheers. Bye.